If you are one person who has been thinking that you do not have time to take on agriculture or farming, think again. We are going to meet a procurement specialist who has actually all the time in office, but again he spares time to come and do his other projects in a rabbitry. Good evening everyone, my name is Charles. Welcome to Farm Digital TV. We today out to visit another farmer who is engaged in rabbitry. He will introduce himself onto us and we get to know his story and what his driving force is. We will get to know more about him as we go on, because he's going to tell us who he is, what he does, and what motivated him into the business of rabbitry. So, welcome, sir.
Okay, my name is Richard. I'm a farmer. I'm into rabbitry, chicken, and matoke for the commercial purpose. And I'm very happy to meet you all.
Thank you. So, Richard, you're doing rabbitry, matoke, and poultry for commercial purposes. Just tell us what motivated you to doing this kind of business.
Well, at first it was when I look back to 2015, and we had just got married. It was just a few months after our wedding, and we were looking for something we could do, something that you can do while you're working, something that is a bit flexible for someone that is working, but at the same time with a long-term goal whereby you know that you don't work for someone forever, you can retire too. So like, let's start something that we can do, one, at home, secondly, something that we can at the same time earn from a living. You earn from it. Then after earning from it, we decided to visit a few farmers around who already knew what we wanted to do. So what we decided to do, we visited one of, there was a lady who was working with, I think, the Danish embassy, because some years back in primary we used to hear about it, like we studied about it, we even fed them, but they were the local breeds. So we wondered, how can a local breed, number one, give you a sustainable supply, two, in terms of meat production, then the manure that you need, and the other byproducts that can come out from rabbitry. We didn't see anything coming from the local breeds. So what we decided to do, we visited the lady someplace in Savala. By then, I think she had about over 300 rabbits, and she had two guys, dedicated guys, who were taking care of the rabbits. So we first went for I would say, learning session. They taught us what to do about the feeding, about the breeding, then also slaughtering, because I don't think in my life I've ever slaughtered a rabbit. Those guys used to supply, actually how we got to know them, they were supplying meat at Millennium Supermarket in Kalangara. So we saw the rabbit, they were called it, I'm forgetting the name. So after buying the meat, we followed up with the contacts and we got to know that that was a business. So they even had, I would say, a mini abattoir, their place. They would slaughter, pack, seal, and take to and tape for sale. So thereafter, after learning, we came and constructed our first cages. It wasn't this place, it was somewhere the sugar cane there. And we began with stock from that lady. She gave us $5 and 2 bags. So we began. We gave back. As the numbers multiplied, we noticed that the space wasn't enough, so we decided to put up a bigger shelter here and construct these cages that you're seeing, and we are not producing any pellets. So that's when we thought of, when the place, what are you going to do? Find a way. And from the different, of course, you talk with other farmers. I'm not after using pellets. I just have my own. It's about knowing how many kgs. So you mix. Maybe you can buy 50 kgs of maize bran. You buy 20 of wheat. You buy maybe a kilo of salt. You buy other few things. You mix together. You still get the same nutrients that can be got from the pellets. But some more. I think that one is more reliable in case the pellet machine is down. You don't need to get into a situation where you don't have feed because of that.
So talking about the breeds that you're holding here, what breeds do you have? And are these all the breeds on the market, or there are so many other breeds on the market that you haven't brought onto your area?
I think there are many breeds on the market. I don't want to say market, but in the world. But as a farmer, it depends on what you want. If you're into meat, there are some breeds that are really good for meat. If there are those who just want eggs, and maybe you just get that particular breed, then there are those. So, like here, what we have about 4 breeds, I think. Maybe this one. This is New Zealand, about 5 months. It's a black. New Zealand white. Now these other ones are a mixture. They are mom. Is a New Zealand. We met it with this dog here. That's why they have a mixture of New Zealand and Begonia. Then we also have chinchilla, like the one down here. They're still with its kids. Not separated. Then this is the chinchilla. Then we have a beef ring. I've also got California. Even these ones are California. Okay. And so far, we have 4 of them, and they're all good for meat.
All good for meat. So
yes.
Basically, your basis is meat.
Yes.
You're not looking at any other thing. So apart from meat, what are the other products that you get from the rabbits?
Of course, when we slaughter, we get meat. Then also we have, I don't know if you notice the 2 drums out there. We collect the droppings, and those droppings are for sale. It becomes as manure, it's organic manure, very good. We even use it at home before we can sell it out. So we sell a product which we are proud of. Then the urine as well is packed and sold.
Still as organic manure?
Yes. Then the time we tried doing non slaughter. These are the hide. If it is well tanned, we go through a process of tanning the hide to make it as soft leather as possible. That was a bit lengthy, but it's also done. The other option would be drying it and sell it to the guys at African village, the way it was. But if you try tanning it, it can be made into many other things. Then I noticed, because if we were having a slaughter session, I would have shown you, but I mean, slaughter, that especially where the tail is, to dry it properly, it can make a nice powder. Oh, yes. Yeah, it does. It makes a nice one. Oh. Okay. So there are some of the things you sell out.
So, how do you balance your time? I know you do some other thing which keeps you busy, and then you have the rabbit part of it.
One thing I would not encourage anyone to do is be a telephone farmer. You have to go and find out how is it, how many rabbits have you. No, you have to intentionally create time. No matter how busy you might be, especially if it is at home. So when I wake up in the morning before I head to work, my other work, I come and check. That's when I'll get to know maybe this one gave birth, or maybe this one is sick. And also my boy, because he wakes up he's in here by 6:30, he starts cleaning. After cleaning, he puts the feeds and water. So as I'm getting out at 7, I come and check on him. He tells me, Uncle, this one is not fair. He tells me, Uncle, we need to deworm because the dewormer is done. At least he sees you involved. So I will check in the morning and also in the evening when I come back. In between, I don't want to say that I will call him a lot, because even him, I expect him to feed the rabbits and get out. In between, he can go and look for feeds, or he does some other errands, because in between you will not do much work and maybe giving them water. You only feed in the morning and evening, apart from these mothers which he can drop in at lunch time and give them more feeds. Otherwise, I don't think there's much that he does. In fact, there are days when he's off and I do it myself. I wake up, I feed, I don't clean. I clean in the evening, because cleaning can take a little bit of time and be late. So I wake up, I feed, then I go to work. When I come in the evening, I clean, I put out the rubbish, give feeds, then I go and sleep. So it's something that one can do if you have your time cut out properly. You can actually do it without a work.
Okay, so it's about time planning. Plan yourself. This I'll do within this period. This I'll do within this period. That's a very good one.
Especially with those other feeds, the concentrated.
Okay.
But you find you don't need to go out and cut grass. You can wake up, put in the feeds, go away. As long as you put water, because that's very important. Water has to be there. The evening you come, give feeds, clean. If you have enough time, you can even clean in the morning, whether you want to be thorough, you want to clean while you're rushing. So it's something that can be done.
So in this your project, we would love to know what are some of the things you've benefited out of rabbitry. There are so many good things that you've gotten out, because one would love to understand and know that if I'm going for rabbitry, yes, I expect something good out of it. So, as you, Richard, what have you gotten out of rabbitry?
Well, quite a number of things about rabbitry. Maybe before I even go financial, I want to say that rabbits have the best manure. That's one. So I get the same manure, I put it in my plantation. Number two, they have the best white meat. In case you feel like eating meat, you shall eat and be healthy. Now, of that, we have been into this business since 2015. Honestly, if I wasn't working with that for a long time, those are almost 10 years. So from rabbit we have actually bought land. In fact, the land we have in Zilogo partially was from here. Because we had actually saved enough to buy 1 acre, then we decided to top up and go 2 acres where we put the plantation and later on constructed the rabbit extension for the farm. Of course, you need to be disciplined, otherwise you can see money coming in and we eat it. The number one thing we do is to make sure that we are putting back, okay, in terms of the feeds, in terms of the salary for the worker, in terms of, in fact, you have to look out for the best breeds even as a farmer, because you notice that these days in Kampala, people are doing a lot of crossbreeding from local to this. If you're not keen, you end up buying some rabbit with some genes you do not understand. So we always look out for the best, and for the best you have to invest some, especially with the bucks. They are the ones that make the farm. And also another thing we've done, it has given us a platform where we have been able to help others interact and network. Like the lady that we helped up start this site where you got lost today. That lady was our customer at first for meat. The daughter actually. The daughter was working at KCCA. We would sell her meat. I used to sell meat at KCCA to my cousin, I remember. Yeah, I think he talked to colleagues. So she started buying. Before we knew it, we found out that she's actually a neighbor. The mom was working in Chukwu. So she started judging with my wife, but what is this thing you're doing? How can I also start? So they came with the boys here, we taught them. Went there, constructed for them cages, they took the first stock from here, and now actually I would say, sometimes we even get from them. When we have more demand, we end up getting a few kilos from them. They have a very, very keen mom. She actually stopped working in school, she's now doing that business. So we feel happy that we have also helped some for startup. We have made friends. We have also made some kind of a social group where we meet and share ideas.
Okay, that's great.
So what I would like to encourage people who want started, number one are the realities or the fixed cost. This one,
the cage,
and maybe the structure. Though I've also noticed you can actually do away with the structure. Yes, and just put this out, but with an iron sheet that is a bit overlapping. As long as you give it a bit of, there should be some height, distance between the actual cage and the sheet, so that in case it's too hot, it doesn't affect them. There should be some kind of ventilation between the iron sheet and the cage.
So that is to prevent the sunlight hitting the rabbits.
Yes. Okay. So the fixed cost you have is this, and your maybe one back and maybe 3 doors. Apart from that, feeding is very affordable. Maybe as the numbers get more or increase, you may need a worker who you can pay between from maybe 80,000 minimum, depending on the number of rabbits you have, because the more they work, these workers also need to be motivated. You don't need to pay them so little yet they are saying you're making money. So as the numbers increase, after what we tell ours, that every sale we make, they get 10%. That is respective of their salary. So that they are motivated. And you come and tell you, uncle, today I'm seeing this rabbit is not eating. I'm seeing this rabbit is like, at least he owns it. He becomes accountable. Because remember, these animals, by the biggest challenge we have is not identifying the sickness in time, because they don't fall sick a lot, but their life is a bit delicate. So if you and your worker are not at the same page, it's not going to open up. As in, the worker should not fear you, that he will not tell you that the rabbit has died. It will die and you throw it in the latrine pit or the garbage pit. You never see the carcass. But if the relationship is so open that he understands that he's a human being, he makes a mistake, he expects you to correct him. Because if you get a worker, you first train him. Also remember, these people may not be passionate about rabbit farming. He has come just because he's looking for salary. But you have to create a way, that atmosphere that you're creating, that he is able to be accountable. No matter what has happened at the farm, he tells you, this rabbit, I put food, but it didn't eat anything. Or this rabbit, it gave birth, but it gave birth to 6, I'm now seeing 4. I don't know what happened to the other one. So that you can also advise what has happened. Because one thing I've noticed with these rabbits, they don't fall sick a lot. The only solution we have is the preventive measures. As much as their life is delicate, if a rabbit is in a clean environment, the chances of them getting sick are like maybe 4-5%, as long as the cages are clean. In fact, we are in here. Are you smelling anything?
No.
You can even sit here and eat.
True.
That is the number one thing we do, because we noticed that not many vets know about rabbits. At the time when we were just speaking, I remember we put a vet. He came and injected the rabbit. That rabbit was not, it was directing. Injected the rabbit. Within 30 minutes, the rabbit was dead. Yes. And I don't want to blame him, but as we interacted with other farmers, we noticed that some of these things we make mistakes because we don't know. So we have attended trainings. There's an association called the Uganda Rabbit Farmer Association, which we all subscribe to. I think now they've even changed the name to Uganda Can Culture Association. The government is now aware of us. I don't know if you've noticed. They're offering extension workers who come and train us. Especially because you see, before you even train Charles, you need to know which breed does he have. True. If you have the local breeds, you're wasting time. So they emphasize the breed you're having, then the feeding, and the market. They're focusing on those so far. The market. Because some people actually are fearing, because they're like, there's no market, I'm not seeing market. So they often we have these sessions together with them, and they even give us weighing scales, because you need to know how many kgs is this rabbit weighing so far. You keep records as a farmer. Okay. At the time of birth, maybe 4 months, 6 months, that's the only way you will tell that what you're feeding that rabbit is actually good or not. They also take us through feeding. Because feeding, today my boy was telling about a rabbit that is not eating. So when I touched its stomach, it's a bit swollen. I asked him, what have you been feeding on it? It's like, I've been giving, we have some mixed concentrate we give them. That is wheat, maize bran, mixed with salt and some other things. But if you give it to them with no water, their stomach will swell and then they actually die. You don't notice in time.
So is that because of the concentration level in
the water level? He didn't put water.
Oh, okay.
Because you know, like how you make how I used to make porridge in high school.
Yes.
The millet flour. You would put a little water. So even here we put, but it should not be as watery as the one we used to porridge.
Okay.
But it should have at least some water. Otherwise, especially the young ones, even the adults, by the way, they'll get the same issue with the stomach. It will swell. So one of the solutions is to give them grass or to hang the food so that they are able to stretch their stomach.
Okay.
That will give them a bit of, to reduce the pressure, so that because it creates some gas. So it helps a lot. So
okay. So the feeds you're saying you will use local grass. Is it grown grass or you can pick grass from anywhere?
Well, as I can only advise that 20% should be grass from what you feed them on.
Okay.
If you have space, you can grow the grass. If you're someone that know the type, for example, the type of grass you can identify. Otherwise, whenever we get a new person, we train them about the type to get, the type not to get. Even you as a new person who's beginning, you notice that in Kampala, not everyone has grass readily available. However, you can still get it if you look out for it. In case, especially like the dry season, we sometimes go to Kabanyo, that Makere Research Center. They sell, I think, a bale at 5,000, and the bale can take us, if of course depending on the storage, it can take us for like, we get 6 of them, and they can take us until the next cycle. Because we are supplementing that with the grass. We have some feeds here. Just for it. We're supplementing with this. So that company, they are selling hay. That hay is what we hay is just grass, dry grass.
Yes.
But there's a way they pack it that it can maybe this, I would say, in terms of size, this big. So you keep lacking out the food and get them. They'll still eat it. Whether it's dry or fresh grass, they'll still eat it. Another thing you can give, maybe in case you don't have feeds, there are pellets, rabbit pellets that they are making in that area. You know where Nevita is?
Yeah.
Yes, they have rabbit pellets. I think that a bag is now 75 or 50 kilos. Another company that is making is Kapeka. Kapeka, serious farmers, they also make feeds. The other guys that have started making, well, since these days, you know, the Chinese have made us machines which you can buy. You get your mixture and you start making at home, especially on a small scale. So feeding, I don't think is a problem. It's not.
Okay. So with the pellet, do they come with all the nutrients that the rabbit would get from the grass? Is everything in there?
Apparently, that's what they say.
Okay.
Because we've used pellets, and also from that, that's how we got to start using our own.
Okay.
Because we you know, you can tell that maybe there's bran, there's some wheat, yeah, then there's that cow dice. So we decided it was a more cost-effective way to buy and mix. Because even the pellets, what we would do, we get the pellets and feed them on the rabbits. However, with some little water, especially those that are not refused.
If I am to do this thing and be able to succeed in it, are there some traits that I need to have as a rabbit farmer? What is necessary?
The first thing is the will. You need to be able to, to believe that it is something that can be done. Do you have passion for it? Is this something you're saying, I want to make it for my wife? There you're going wrong. But if she's not interested in farming, so do it for yourself if you really want to do rabbit farming. It is not so multitasking. Something that actually I would say rabbit farming, as long as you're a clean person in terms of you maintain the cleanliness in the house, you will not have any issues. The demand is there more than you can actually satisfy. The demand is just enough. In fact, like I was telling you, if I slaughtered, if I got an order to supply 20 kgs per week, I would have no farm to do. I'd have to run to log almost every weekend, but still cannot be sustainable. So you need other people start up so that you can, share those orders. So someone starting up, they should have that passion. They should be very keen, because now, like, if you put food here and go away, you may not know why it's not eating. So have that, let it be like as if it's your child. If you give your child food and she didn't eat it, I think what's wrong with you? So be able to see the characteristic of the rabbit. Then are able to tell from the droppings whether this rabbit is sick or not. Sometimes they diarrhea and so you don't know if you make the water cold. So you need to be that keen. And lastly, you need to know that this is your business. Don't let it to be the worker's business. He should see you, you enter, you come and even clean this thing. Because by the time you tell him that he didn't clean well, he needs to know that even my boss can actually clean this thing. So take the lead. Be the one to actually tell them, you know what? Here you didn't clean well, because yesterday when I was cleaning, I cleaned better than this. So that he knows that even my boss can actually get in and do the cleaning. So,
well, we've seen the benefits and the necessities that someone needs to have. So, just like any other business, I believe there are challenges. What are some of the challenges you've encountered?
The number one challenge is we've got predators, and these are the when the rabbit goes bad, so unless we have very good structure, but even if you have, because we have a problem in rats. Rats eat the young ones. We even had, at one point we were keeping a cat inside here. And I think it became a bit, instead now also started eating the young one. Ate all the rats got out. Then I think noticed the rats were actually eating the young one, so it's also started doing right now. So we decided to let go of the rat, of the cat. What when it gives birth, sometimes when it actually gives birth into the box, can just give us from the mesh. Maybe at night you're not here. By the time you come in the morning, the rat will not enter. What it does is stands and pulls the legs. So So you come in the morning, you find a rabbit with maybe it's missing a leg. You say, what happened? Or maybe it's missing, they have eaten part of its ears or what. So that is actually the biggest challenge, because you see, with the numbers, we are looking at winning as many as possible. So if any die even before you've win, you have made a big loss.
Yeah, true.
You made a big loss. Another challenge that we have is we don't have many vets that are in terms of being, you know how you can call someone or maybe bring someone, you're like, wait, my rabbit is sick, it's not eating, it's been eating, I've been feeding the same food, what's wrong? And you find that maybe this person also does not know. If you walk out here, there's a vet I think in Kapule, but whenever I go there, I try to treat these as chicken. I'll not tell them I even have rabbits. Because when you tell them, they're like, they're like, that's one. So, why I say chicken? Because they have almost the same body weight.
Okay.
You find, especially dwarming, I use the same thing. So instead, a solution to that, we run either to the group, the Rabbit Farmer Association. There's a vet there who is actually from the government of Uganda.
Okay.
The only challenge is it will also be not good for him to actually diagnose on phone.
Okay.
He prefers
being
having
on the station.
but sometimes he's busy. He's busy. So what you do, you can share the problem on the group, and you see different solutions that people have used. The testimonies.
Okay.
If it worked for them, then maybe it's most likely to work for you.
True.
Yeah, that's what we do. For the rats, what we've done is to, if you notice here, there's some plywood below the box. So when we know that the rabbit is about to give birth, we put this box, put the plywood. In case it delivers when we're not here, let the rats not be able to pull. That's the solution for what? For the rats. Then, of course, they cannot pass anywhere here. It's a bit silly. Then another challenge you have is feeds, especially during the dry season. I told you about what happened in the lockdown when the machine was down. Lockdown, workers are not moving out to those farms or to the gardens to look for feeds. It was just us. That's how we had to improvise and make some of our own solution. We mix and give. So sometimes you find that that challenge may not be, it's entirely external. But when you go to the factory and they tell you you're not making any more feeds. Then for Kapeka feeds were a bit far. They opened up some, I think they would deliver once in a while this side, but they were a bit pricey, I think, because of the distance. And of course, if you're into, commercial, you wouldn't want to buy feeds expensive.
Definitely. Yeah. You won't be breaking even.
Yeah, you won't. So the other solution we would have was go to Kabanyora and get the hay. Because that one, at least you'd be assured that you can have it for some good time. Especially if there's no water that drops onto that grass. It can stay for even 2 or 3 months. Then the other challenge are the workers. Then you can have a worker who's, I don't even know what to use. But they don't care.
Okay.
He will come and clean, he goes and sleeps after he comes in the evening, eats. He will not be as, like I was telling you, someone who is a bit like sharp, keen. Yeah, this I gave it here. What happened?
So now that is where the monitoring comes in from you, the business owner.
You must, and also you just have to pray that you get someone that is actually interested.
Okay.
Someone will tell you that maybe this rabbit is not well. We had a time when rabbits would fall sick and die, and this person was throwing them in the latrine
without letting you know.
So we noticed the numbers were reducing. This person was saying nothing. And by the time we found out, we actually don't know how many he had. Because they would fall sick and he was not telling us. He doesn't tell you. You just see, sometimes they all look the same. So we decided to start writing most period note. So you know if a canine has one or so that you can somehow tell. You can even tag the ears so that you can know. So that you can actually have your records. There's even a rabbit app these days about it covers almost everything.
So you're able to tell everything that is happening in your
how many have been delivered, how many have been weaned, which bag, which door. It's just precise. It even shows you the costs.
Is inbreeding an issue with rabbitry?
Very much. We don't encourage it. That's why we even we have to separate this side here. We cannot mix them.
Okay.
Otherwise, they start inbreeding and they die off. First of all, you get a very poor breed, and also the mortality is high.
So all these are from different mothers?
Yes.
Okay.
When to win them, we separate them. So these are the those, the other ones are that's.
So
inbreeding.
Oh, that's good. A rabbit. How long does it take it to require now about to take on?
I think 5 months.
5 months.
Between 5 and 6 months, depending on the breed.
Okay.
Then so we can say earliest 5, latest 6.
Okay. So then how long does it take it from that period to produce?
1 month. Say 28, 30 days.
That's a short one. So like if you have about 4 of them and how many rabbits does on average does one give back to? 6 on average.
Rabbits are funny. Now, one thing I've noticed, the more weight they have, the less they deliver. But by the time a rabbit gave birth to 2 kids, are like, what's wrong? So, when I inquired, as I was reading, they were like either the back is old, or the jaw is actually too fat. So whenever we are about to put them for, if you identify that maybe this is really enough to make, you make sure that you reduce on the amount of feeds for that month. Otherwise, when they're too fat, they also maybe they don't. So you notice most of them, I think averagely, no, not averagely, the function maybe, and it's intentional. I mean, to win, we make sure, because after that we shall be putting it for mating. So that 1 month gap, that we don't overfeed it.
Okay. So you keep monitoring those rabbits that are yet to deliver. Because you say
we have records. Whenever we put for mating, we record the date and the kid number. Then also you record the back, because you need to know which breed. Are you getting a California with a New Zealand? Are you get like so that because even when we are selling them, we have to give a history of this rabbit is from which lineage. We have been in touch with some people in the industry, and we want to start processing our own processes. So there's actually an order we placed from China. for a machine so that we can cut. Because currently, if you want to make sausage, you take them to Uganda Industrial Research Institute. Really. And we go with their meat, they produce for you. So we feel we can actually cut down on that cost.
You do it from here.
Yes. Then also want to make our own feeds. Because we've seen someone actually do it from, I think, Mukono. They bought that machine and they put in the maize. And they are able to produce their own feeds. Because right now I'm spending about, I think, 50,000 monthly on feeds. Then I spend 80 on the worker. So if I can cut down on the feeds, I think I can even pay my worker better. Yeah. Especially when the number is more than this, you find that having a machine that makes your own feeds is much better. The biggest challenge we face is especially in the dry season, when he's not able to go out and get as much grass as we need. You find you need to actually depend more on that.
Okay. All right, that's all we had for this interview, Richard. We thank you. Thank you for the time, and we thank you for the project you're putting up. We love the fact that you're training other people to be like what you are, and then continue with the journey of transforming our food systems. You know, hunger is an issue, unemployment is an issue, especially for our young people, and we need things like this that will keep them ahead and will keep them on the move with job creation. Maybe the last one would be a simple message to the young people. Though we are now educated people who think doing things like this farming is for those who are afraid to make it in life, or those who are less educated. But now you are a well-educated guy, you have a professional job, but then you're putting up this something like this as a side income. What's the message you have for the young people out there?
I think the young people need to know that it all starts with us. It does not matter whether you have a degree or whether you have attained some level of education, because you see, all of us spend. Whether I have 1 billion in my house or you have 1K, we are all going to spend on things like food, on water, on clothing, the basic ones. So it does not matter. Do not say that with rabbit you can actually eat these rabbits. You can sell, you can get manure, you can also offer services by constructing for them. So there's a lot you can get, and I don't want to say at a large scale, because you start small. You start small. Don't look at something and imagine that maybe they just woke up and had 100 rabbits or 200 rabbits. We had 5 rabbits here. So the young people need to be patient, but also they need to have a purpose. Slow but sure. Let them live with a purpose. Let them identify their goals and chase their goals forever. Not give up. Even if you start today, it's not too late. It's not.
Okay. Thank you so much, Richard.